Today we are going to investigate fractions and numbers that are greater than 1. So far you've been working with fractions between 0 and 1. So you've seen a lot of number lines that have had 0 and 1. Do you think there are fractions greater than 1? Could we write whole numbers as fractions? Can 2 be written as a fraction? 3? What about 1? By the end of this lesson, I want you to be able to answer those questions. How can we write whole numbers as fractions, and are there fractions that are greater than 1? That's your goal for today's lesson. You don't necessarily have a paper for your task today, but it would be a good idea to pair up with somebody and use multiple fraction kits. So you see, I have my halves right here that represent 1 whole. But what if I wanted to see how many halves are in 2 whole? I would easily be able to see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 over 2, 4 halves, is equal to 2 whole. So here I want you to work with somebody because you only have enough fraction strips to equal 1 whole, but we want to talk about 2 wholes right now. Let me go over some of the questions I want you to investigate using your fraction strips. First one, how can you represent 2 wholes? Well, we just did that with halves when I showed you how to combine 2 fraction kits. I've also included some other visual representations you can use if you don't have enough fraction kits. Let's say you're at home and you only have 1 fraction kit. Well, you can draw a bar model of 1 whole using fourths, and then another bar model with your fourths. How many total fourths is that? Next question, how do you know that 4 fourths is the same as 1 whole? Again, use your fraction strips in your fraction kit to justify this. How might you write the fraction 8 fourths? 8 over 4. How could you write the whole number 2 as a fraction? So our whole number 2, 2 wholes, what would that look like as a fraction? How can you prove that the whole number 2 is the same as 8 over 4? Again, you can use fraction strips, or you can just draw out using a bar model or draw out using a number line. And then finally, can you find another way to explain your answer? Let's say you needed to explain this to a first grader. What kind of words, drawings, and pictures would you use to explain these concepts to them? Pause this video and work on this. If you get stuck, play the video because I'm going to give you a little bit more support. All right, if you want a different way to look at how to understand fractions that are greater than 1, let's take a look at this number line. This number line has 1, 2, 3 wholes represented here. Let's say we break our wholes up into fourths. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. We'll do that for this whole too. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to label each one of these. Here, this one is 1 fourth. Then this is the 2nd fourth. 3rd fourth. Uh-oh, I'm at 1. What should we label 1 as? You got it. 4 fourths. 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, 9/4, 10/4, 11/4, and 12/4. So, how many total fourths do we have in our whole number 3? You can do this trick with any fraction. So you could do this with halves. You could do it with sixths and eighths. This might help you if you feel like you just need an extra visual support when you're thinking about whole numbers and fractions.